There's all these things are important, you know. And the one problem why people run into the wrong dog trainers is because they watch flashy videos. The dog trainer says things that they like, and they relate to the dog trainer because they seem like them. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you take that into account, you're going to get the wrong dog trainer every time. The right dog trainer for you may not look like you, may not act like you, and may not talk like you.
Madison Bell German Shepherd.
Place it down. He said, wait, sit, wait. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while since we had a heart-to-heart conversation about dog training. We've been training, we've had a lot of puppies, we've done a lot of things. So today, what we're going to talk about is that's what we're going to talk about. What is dog training? So to begin this topic, I want to go through a timeline and different compartments of dog training. Because it seems like a lot of people don't know what dog training is, and they're trying to figure it out because why would they? That's why they go to a dog trainer. And dog trainers are using this to get over on people. So first thing we're going to talk about is dog training basics. Dog training basics is teaching your dog to sit, to stay, to down, to hear, to stand, and to come. These are just dog training basics. Now, this has absolutely nothing to do with dog training behaviors. This is the things that people are actually wanting from dog trainers, is to teach their dog to not bolt out the door, to not be resource guarding, to go in their crate, to lay on their bed, things like that. These are things that are not being taught to these dogs that are in these dog training programs. And when the people get the dogs back, they are, they're not satisfied because the dog knows to sit and maybe sometimes stays, but they really don't know. And what tends to happen is a person who absolutely has a dog and they have no idea about anything about dog training, and the dog trainer teaches your dog to do something like sit, they get so excited they start recommending the dog trainer to other people. This is bad because when they do that, then their friend goes to the dog trainer and they have a really bad experience because the dog trainer is only equipped to do so much. Also, with that being said, you need to research your dog trainer. Find out about them. How many dogs do they train at one time? How do they feed the dogs when they're in their care? How often do the dogs train? What methods do they use? Do they use e-collars, prong collars? Are they yoking the dogs? Are they, hitting the dogs? Are they all positive and they just give them treats? These are important factors because you may send your dog to a dog trainer and come back and your dog's a nervous wreck. Okay, so these are important when it comes to what is dog training. Dog training is not just teaching a dog to sit and stay on a pad and walk around them in circles because they stayed and then bust out a video and say that's dog training. That's not. Okay, that's introducing a dog to the basics of sitting and the basic of staying. The point of the dog staying is if you give them a command to stay somewhere, they don't move. The point of it isn't for a fancy video for the dog trainer to walk around them in circles while they're sitting there and be proud of themselves. Okay, because that aspect of that training should be able to move over to you telling your dog to sit and stay at the front door before you open it, telling your dog to wait while you're trying to give them the food. If the dog does not understand those methods of training, then the sit and the stay is useless. Because the minute you break out food, they're going to break their command, they're going to break their stance, they're going to rush out to the food, and the stay is only good when there's no distractions. So if the dog trainer is not using real life scenarios to train your dog, then it's not dog training. It's just good stuff. It's imprinting. Your dog's not proof. And you're paying a high price for something that can be done in 7 days. I mean, we imprinted Chyla for 7 days, and we posted every video of that on purpose. Chyla is far from being dog trained. But 90% of the dogs that I see that went through a 12 or 4 or 6 week program, Chyla's way better than them. She's better than those dogs that she did 7 days of training. And the thing is, you leave your head scratching and say, why is that? Because the dog trainer spent less time with your dog. They had quality over quantity. Chyla was the only dog we trained. So we didn't have 50 dogs here and we were giving them 15 minutes each per day or 15 minutes every other day. Chyla trained 6 or 7 times a day for 45 minutes up to an hour. And that was 7 days. Now imagine if we had her for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, then she would have been amazing. She would have been proofed on those commands. She would have not only learned how to do these things outside, she would have learned how to do them inside. So that is dog training. Dog training is basically being able to train a dog to the highest standards, and they commit those things for the owners. If a dog does everything great for me but won't do it for the owner, the dog is not trained. And people that are telling their friends and recommending these guys to go see this guy because he teaches their dog how to lay on the bed and sit somewhere is not dog training. It's not. And you don't have to go to school for 30 years to be a dog trainer. You can be self-taught. You can just be good at what you do. And the minute that you take quantity over quality, you are selling your soul for money. You're not training dogs. You're just collecting money, and then you're spitting the dogs back out. And the minute a dog trainer tells you that it's the dog's fault they could not train the dog, you just been scammed. Because if the dog trainer commits the hours to the dog, they're going to learn it no matter what. It's science-based behavior. So if you do the same thing over and over and over, the dog is going to get it. The thing is, it takes time. No one can do this in 5 days or 6 days. It takes 4 weeks or 6 weeks. It takes time to build that repetition with the dog so that they learn and they understand the behavior you're training them. All of the above. But if you actually want your dog trained and you send them to a good trainer, it's going to take time. That's the one thing. It takes time. No one can train your dog in 3 days to do a bunch of things. If your dog trainer specializes in trick training, there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't help you. For your dog to jump between your arms or on your back, it's not going to help you when you're trying to get your dog to stop chasing cats or biting that strangers coming in your door. That your guests are coming in your door, not strangers, but guests. So, again, when you talk about dog training, where are the dogs being kept? If the dog is being kept in a kennel outside and the dog is an indoor dog, they're not going to learn. They're going to be too stressed to learn. And if they can't learn, they're not going to retain anything that's being taught to them. Okay? If the dog is not being adequately fed, the dog is going to be stressed. Again, they're not going to retain. So if the dog trainer, you need to know what methods they're using. Are they hand feeding dogs? Are they, not just giving them treats and they're not giving them food? Are they giving them adequate water? There's all these things are important, And the one problem why people run into the wrong dog trainers is because they watch flashy videos. The dog trainer says things that they like, and they relate to the dog trainer because they seem like them. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you take that into account, you're going to get the wrong dog trainer every time. The right dog trainer for you may not look like you, may not act like you, and may not talk like you. I'll say that again. The right dog trainer you're looking for may not look like you, may not act like you, and may not talk like you. And when you bring that home, that's hard to take. That's really hard to understand that the guy that I'm looking for, the girl I'm looking for may not be, and may not like my political views, may not be my religion views, but they know exactly what to do to get your dog where you want. And when you search for dog trainers on recommendations that are unfounded, or someone says, oh, he did great with my dog wouldn't stay before I took him to him. Okay, what else did he do? What else can your dog do? Go again. Dog training is a method, applications that are applied, and it takes time. And it also takes, understanding how many repetitions that your dog is going to need. Your dog may have to be taught to sit 5 times a day. Where if I have 40 dogs, and I'm speaking about myself, there's no way that I could train your dog to sit 40 times a day. It's just impossible. So that's another clue. If a dog trainer he's the only dog trainer and everybody's recommended him, and he has 50 dogs, you probably wouldn't leave him alone. Because he's not training all those dogs at one time. Some of them are not getting trained. Some of them are just sitting in crates and kennels for hours on end until the owner, a week before the owner comes in, and they throw in training on the dog. That's why you don't see any videos of the dogs for like 2 or 3 weeks, because they're not training the dog. You can ask anybody who's trained with me. The minute I take in the dog, they get a video every day. And I might post a video on our page where the dog got music in there and there's a little editing. But when I give them a video, it's uncut and edited. So they see all the mistakes the dogs are making. I communicate with them 24/7. So they know where we're at and what to expect when they get here. Same thing if you're talking to a dog trainer. He's boarding your dog, and you pick your dog up, and he's 15, 20 pounds lighter. That's another issue. That is that's an issue of trust. Why wouldn't a dog trainer call you and tell you your dog was dropping weight the whole time they had it, but when you showed up, you saw it? So how can you trust that dog trainer actually did what they claimed they did when they couldn't even call you and tell you your dog was dropping weight? So those are a lot of issues, especially when you deal with board and train. You have to be careful. There's a lot of scammers out there. They got great videos, and they're edited, and they're sped up, and they got a bunch of music. But they won't let you see where the dogs are being kept. They won't let you see how they really actually train the dogs, because in a video they may not have on an e-collar, and they may not have on a prong collar. But then when they're training and no one's videoing, they're wearing all that stuff. So you got to be careful. If the dog trainer's not willing to tell you they use tools, that's another issue. So again, dog training is teaching a dog a behavior, then using that behavior inside of a home or facility, and then proofing that behavior so when there's a distraction, they follow that command. And in 2 to 3 weeks, you're just going to get the behavior. That's all part you're going to get. 2 to 4 weeks, you'll get the proofing of the behavior. So if the program is 2 weeks long, you can rest assured when you get the dog home after 2 weeks, they are not going to be doing what they were taught to do. It's going to wash out. So that is my little stint on what is dog training. Some people may agree with me, some people may not. That's my opinion. I think that a lot of people who talk about what dog training is actually have no idea how long it takes a dog. How many days, when you start teaching a dog to heel, how many days does it take a dog to start to catch on? I've shown you a video, it takes 72 hours. So a lot of people don't know what a dog should be at what point and how well they should know it. Also extends to customers' genetics. If you buy a dog with really bad genetics, it's going to take a dog trainer triple that time that they would do with a dog with really good genetics. And genetics, I'm talking about the intelligence of a dog. If a dog is super smart, you can teach a dog to heel in 2-3 days. If a dog is not so smart, you're going to take a week or 2. So just because they train dogs, you need to find out if they have experience with a variety of dogs, a variety of breeds, and they know different methods and not just one method. So not every dog needs an e-collar, not every dog needs a prong collar. Not every dog needs to be yoked on, and a lot of dogs have high thresholds and low thresholds. Being a dog trainer, you understand that. So again, what is dog training? You need to sit back and think about it to yourself before you recommend any dog trainer, including me. And then once you understand what is the actual science-backed behavior of dog training, then you'll be cautious about who you recommend and who you take your dog to. So again, this is Madison Bell. Thank you guys for watching dog training, and we'll be putting out some more videos here soon with a bunch of the dogs and some puppies. Y'all have a great one, and y'all be good.